So if you're like me, you want to work out. It's just really hard to find the time. Well, I've got great news for you guys. I found a new form of high-intensity interval training that'll get you in great shape, will slow down the aging process, and it only takes about 4 minutes to complete. Not 4 minutes of high-intensity training out of a 20-minute workout. I'm talking about 4 minutes total workout. Hey, Lance here. And if you guys want to turn back the clock on aging, if you want to look better, feel better, have more energy, then you really want to think about subscribing to this channel. One click on the subscribe button below and you're all set to get the latest news about nutrition, exercise, erectile dysfunction, hormone optimization, anti-aging, nootropics, skincare, and more. And while you're at it, leave a comment and hit the like button. Today, we're going to be talking about a great new form of high-intensity interval training, the nitric oxide dump or release. After briefly touching on some of the benefits of doing HIIT, we're going to be talking about the specific benefits of the nitric oxide dump. And then I'll show you guys how to do it. So the way that I work out is that I do a few different things. First, I do myofascial release, things like foam rolling and lacrosse ball rolling. Then I follow that up with some mobility drills to warm up and prevent any injuries. Then I do resistance training. Sometimes I lift weights, sometimes I do body weight stuff. I follow that up with a high-intensity interval training session. And then I wrap it all up by doing some dynamic stretching just to cool down. One of the changes that I'm making to my workout routine is that I'm changing the way that I do high-intensity interval training. I used to do HIIT in a variety of different ways. Sometimes I do it on an exercise bike. Sometimes I'd run. Sometimes I do a bodyweight session with a lot of burpees. Now, for anyone who's unaware of the benefits of high-intensity interval training, there are just too many of them. It's hard to list them all, but I'm going to name just a few. First off, it burns more calories than steady-state cardio, elevating your metabolism for up to 36 hours. It shifts your metabolism from burning carbs for energy to burning fat, and it can really reduce the level of visceral fat. It can improve your muscle mass, increase your energy, and improve your sleep quality. It can improve your testosterone levels, your human growth hormone levels, your nitric oxide levels, and it can boost your libido. It can normalize your blood sugar and increase insulin sensitivity. And it has massive anti-aging properties. A study done in 2016 found that doing 3 minutes of HIIT a week was as effective as doing 150 minutes of moderate intensity continuous training with regard to improving insulin sensitivity, cardiorespiratory fitness, and mitochondrial content in skeletal muscle. Now, I've followed Dr. McCullough for about 10 years. Some of you may have heard of him. He's a doctor that has a website that's hugely popular, and he deals with lots of issues in a real, natural way. The HIIT program that I followed for about 9 years was his peak interval training. Now, recently, he suggested that doing a form of HIIT that is less intense but done 3 times a day can be just as effective as doing a highly intense form of HIIT 2 or 3 times a week, which is the normal pattern. And the form of exercise that he recommends is a type of high-intensity interval training called the nitric oxide dump or release. Nitric oxide is a molecule found in the inner layer of your blood vessels called the endothelium. It acts as a signaling molecule that transmits signals to the cells in the cardiovascular, nervous, and immune systems in your body. Once it's been released through exercise, it enters the smooth muscles and relaxes them. It also causes your blood vessels to dilate and expand, lowering your blood pressure. And it can decrease the viscosity of your blood, lowering the risk of platelet aggregation, which can lead to a blood clot. And that can lead to a serious cardiovascular event like a heart attack or a stroke. The nitric oxide dump, developed by Dr. Zach Bush, is a form of high-intensity interval training that was designed to stimulate the release of nitric oxide into your bloodstream. And it does a lot of things besides just dilating the blood vessels and lowering the viscosity of the blood. First off, it allows your body to increase nitric oxide production. Now, this is really important for aging adults, since levels of nitric oxide decrease as you age. And it has huge benefits for the mitochondrial health. Now you may be wondering, just what exactly does the mitochondria do? So the mitochondria have a number of proteins in the electron transport chain. This chain passes electrons from the reduced form of the metabolized food that you eat, and it combines these electrons with oxygen from the air that you breathe to create energy in the form of adenosine triphosphate, or ATP. Water and CO2, or carbon dioxide, are waste products of this reaction. Now, mitochondria compose 10% of your body mass, and they make up about 1/3 of the volume of cardiac and skeletal muscles, and they produce your body weight in ATP every day. They're responsible for apoptosis, that programs death of cells, and they're important signaling molecules that help regulate the expression of genes, which is when genes get activated or switched on. The more mitochondria you have, the healthier you are, the more energy your body can generate, and the lower your risk of chronic disease, and the better you feel. Research indicates that about half of the people under the age of 40 have early onset mitochondrial dysfunction, which is one of the primary contributing factors to virtually all chronic degenerative diseases, such as cancer, heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, and Alzheimer's. And the nitric oxide dump is very effective at stimulating mitochondrial biogenesis, the production of new mitochondria. It can also benefit your mitochondria by slowing down age-related muscle decline. Now, doing this exercise can stimulate the mitochondria to begin producing proteins that keep your muscles performing at their peak level at any age, but are especially beneficial for aging adults. The nitric oxide dump can also improve the VO2 max, which is the maximum amount of oxygen that your body consumes during intense exercise. And the higher the VO2 max, the higher your stamina. And because the movements in the nitric oxide dump are compound movements, this exercise utilizes every large muscle in your body. Doing this exercise correctly will yield anabolic and metabolic benefits, improving weight and facilitating fat loss throughout your body. Okay, before I show you how to do the nitric oxide dump, I'm curious. How many of you guys are currently doing high-intensity interval training? What type of HIIT are you doing? Leave me a comment below and let me know. So how do you do it? It's really very simple, and it's ideal for anyone just starting out. Even people who are elderly can usually perform the movements in the exercise, or at least a modified version of them. Now, there are 4 movements that you need to perform, and you perform each of these movements 10 times, gradually working your way up to 20 times. Now that's 1 cycle, and you need to perform 3 to 4 cycles. Now you do this exercise 3 times a day, every day. Since the exercise only takes about 3 or 4 minutes to perform, that's less than 15 minutes of total exercise a day. Now, this is one of the few exercises where speed is more important than form. It's important that you do this exercise at a very high pace, at a high intensity. Remember, it's a form of HIIT, and high intensity is what HIIT's all about. Okay, so here's the movement. And the first movement is a squat. Now place your feet a little more than shoulder width apart and your toes out at a 45-degree angle. And then squat as low as you can go. Now, you want to make sure that you're sticking your butt out like you're sitting down in a chair and your hands are out in front of you to balance yourself. Now, if you experience a lot of stress in the back of your knees that prevents you from doing a proper squat, then do a shallow one. The important thing is that you activate the quadriceps. Now remember, speed is more important than how low you go. So you want to do it fast at that rate. Okay? Okay, so the next movement is arm raises. Make a fist with your hands and drop them to your sides, and then alternate bringing them up to shoulder level. Now, do this with control. When each hand reaches shoulder level, stop it abruptly and force it back down again. Don't just throw your arms around using momentum, keep it going. Also, make sure that you bring it all the way up and all the way down to here, like this. And also, when you're doing it, don't rotate your body back and forth like this. Keep your body square, keep your body still, your upper body still, and just do the movement like that. And then this is the rate that you want to be doing it at. So do it very quickly, very fast, very intense, like that. And that's all there is to it. That's the arm raise. Okay, so the third movement is called circular arm swings, also known as non-jumping jacks. Now I'm doing this on a platform here because my ceiling is low. I'm a tall guy and I don't want to be getting into the ceiling. So tap your fists in front of your body and then tap them together over and behind your head. Now don't get lazy on this. Do this with control and make sure you get full rotation of the shoulder joint. Now if you have an injury that prevents you from doing this motion, like a rotator cuff or a frozen shoulder, start with your hands in front of you like you're praying. And then push your hands up as high as you can go, break them apart, swing them all the way down until they meet in the bottom, and then return to the praying motion. So like this. Okay, so I'm going to do the clicking movement, and this is the rate that you should be doing it at. So fast, intense, and with control. And that's the shoulder movement, the non-jumping jack. That's the third movement. Now for the final movement, you want to do an arm raise. And again, I'm doing this on a platform because of the low ceiling. Start out with your fist just above your shoulders and push them straight up like you're doing a military press. And that's all there is to it. So again, you should do this as fast as you can go. So it should look like this. Intense, fast, quick. And that's it. That's the final movement, and that's the end of the 4 movements that you need to learn how to do. Okay, I'm going to walk you through one cycle of the nitric oxide dump. I'm going to be doing 10 movements of each cycle. Now the ceiling is there, so I'm not going to be going all the way up, so I don't run into the ceiling. But this is what it should look like. So start off with the squats, all right? And I'm going to do 10 of each movement. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, this is the arm raise. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now the circular shoulder movements. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the shoulder raises. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's one cycle. Now you want to do 3 cycles, and that's it. You're done. That's all you have to do. Remember, do each movement 10 times, working your way up to 20 times, and do the movements as fast as you can. Now, once you've done all 4 movements, you've completed 1 cycle, and you want to do 3 cycles. Once you've completed all 3 cycles, just stand there for a minute and relax. You should feel a tingling sensation in your fingertips. That means that the nitric oxide has been released from your endothelial tissue and is coursing throughout your body and reaching every cell. You want to do this 3 times a day, every day. It's important to wait a minimum of 2 hours between each session because that's how long it takes for the nitric oxide to replenish itself. If you don't wait at least 2 hours, you're not replenishing the nitric oxide and the exercise will be wasted. Well, not completely wasted. You'll still be getting the benefits from doing the high intensity interval training exercise, but you won't be releasing any additional nitric oxide. The whole point of this exercise is to stimulate your body into producing more nitric oxide. And that's it. That's how you do the nitric oxide dump. It's super easy, and pretty much anyone can do this form of HIIT, even seniors, even if you haven't done HIIT before. If you haven't done any form of exercise for a long time, this is a great way to get started. Just remember to start out slowly and only do 10 reps of each movement. It won't take long to work your way up to 20. Okay, have fun with that. If you like this channel, be sure to subscribe to it. Share it with your friends and your social media. Hit the like button and hit the bell to be notified when I post a new video every Tuesday. That's it. I'm out of here. I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching.